Welcome to another podcast of the Pale Redneck. This episode is called The Drought, or Droughts. So in episode 6, I covered a lot of the happy memories I had by growing up on the farm. But unfortunately, it started off in Merriwa in about 1990, 1991. There was a drought in Merriwa. I used to go on the school bus, and I used to look at the paddocks outside, and I went from green to like dirt basically. It wasn't winter time. I think it was just the drought. There wasn't enough grass on the ground for the cows. So we left Merriwa in 1992 and moved to Chinchilla, which was about 5-10 kilometres from Witalaba, which is about 30 kilometres from Coolah. And we experienced maybe the tail end of that drought in the early 90s, and also mid-90s, maybe 97, 98, there was also another drought. And what happens in a drought is, there's no rain, so there's no grass on the ground or no food for the cattle unless you feedlot them or buy them hay or food. I distinctly remember my foster father buying molasses maybe for the cows, and he used to cut down the gum trees to feed the cattle gum leaves. I don't know if it actually was effective in feeding them, but that's what he used to do. And it was really sad to watch the cows get skinny, and it's hard, if you don't have the funds or the capabilities to survive the droughts. A lot of families sell up and just leave rural life altogether. They can't cope with watching their animals starve. We survived. I think the school principal at the time, when I was at Coolah, thought that we weren't showering because there wasn't enough water. I don't know, because he did a big speech in front of the school saying, if you can't have showers at home, please feel free to have them at the school. I don't know. That's a kind principle, isn't it? Someone's offering to let you shower at a school because they think you don't have enough water at home. In the house that I lived in Chinchilla, they had 2 bathrooms. There was the good bathroom, and then there was the bathroom that I showered in most of the time, which was waterproofed. It was just a shower. I think there was a toilet in there as well, but they built a separate shower from the good shower for us. And my time in Chinchilla Coolah was not pleasant at all. I don't know if it was just the drought that made my foster father snap, or he was a jockey previously in his life, so he had like a very short temper. I don't know what brought that on, but he was very authoritarian and very strict. And this is the same man that took us mushroom picking, and when I was about maybe 8 or 9, he let me sit in the tractor with him while he sowed the wheat at Merriwa. I don't know, because what happened was my sister left the home, and I don't know, maybe his reputation was ruined or something, but I think my sister left in 1990, but 2 years after that we left Merriwa and we never went back. So then we went to Coolah because they bought a property. Not Coolah, sorry, Witalaba. It's closest to Witalaba, and they bought a property there. A lot of the paddocks in Chinchilla were just scrub. They weren't like fertile land, but there was a few paddocks that had cattle on it. I think they had sheep as well. They had chickens that were named after home and away characters. They had a pet emu. I think at one stage they had a pet kangaroo. Or was that at Merriwa? I know. I'm trying to remember if it was at Coolah, Witalaba as well. But yeah, I don't know if maybe a drought could change someone's personality, or maybe the reputation being wrecked by someone. I don't know. I think maybe my foster father was angry at my sister for complaining about him, so he took it out on the rest of us kids. There was 3 of us kids. My brother eventually ran away from home, and I left when I was 17, and they put me in a flat in town, which I was kind of relieved about, because you don't have to worry about predators if you're just living by yourself. Mainly, I mean, it was a small rural town, so it's pretty safe. But yeah, that was some of my experience is just a drought, having to conserve water, not using water as much. It was like a precious commodity, and watching cattle, suffering because there's no land, like no natural food for them to eat. So you have to buy food for them to eat. It was a really hard time, and I know I'm not cut out to live in the country. I've got very fair skin, and the origins of the name, the pale redneck, is obvious because I have extremely fair skin. I burned really badly, and because as I said, I came from Housing Commission in Newcastle, and I obviously didn't have much of a rural background at all, so that's why I called myself the pale redneck. And this concludes the podcast for today. Thank you.